What's the stupidest thing you ever seen a religious person call satanic? So my mom's friend is a bit overweight and likes to go to church a lot. She enjoys wearing the color black because it's slimming. Her pastor told her that wearing black all the time was of the devil. LOL. What about priests? Deviled eggs. I cringe every time a family calls them angel eggs. That's an unexpectedly disturbing image. Dungeons and Dragons. I had a buddy growing up who got in a lot of trouble with drugs and the cops in the 1980s, a lot being a relative thing in the SoCal suburbs, of course. He came home one day to find his mostly non-religious mother had been talked into burning his D&D stuff and heavy metal albums by a Bible-thumping neighbor. Yes, your son has no positive role models. Your discipline swings from non-existence to draconian on a whim. You have trouble holding down a job, and you're an alcoholic. The Welsh flag, one of the most badass, Pokemon, and the magic school bus. The magic school bus. WTF. Going to a different church. Not like a different kind of church, for example Catholic Evangelic. I mean the same kind of building, just 2 blocks away from their own. Go to steer clear of those hellbound Methodists. They allow women preachers. No, seriously. This was the bullshit circulated by the local Southern Baptist cartel back in the day. SpongeBob. Don't you know it's based off the 7 deadly sins? The fanatic said as she turned the TV channel to a different cartoon. One with a stalking dog and toddler at a 6-year-old's birthday party. The fact that those sins are the character flaws that creates the conflict as an example of not becoming too lazy or too greedy was lost on her when I pointed it out. She was told it was satanic by random religious authority, so satanic it absolutely was to her. Yes, I left it on Family Guy until another parent came in and freaked out when she saw her daughter laughing at Quagmire. Oh, I said loudly enough for everyone to hear, but with an innocent tone as if I didn't know Family Guy. The mom over there turned it to this about an hour ago because SpongeBob is satanic. She saw the opening song and said to leave it here. The fight that came next was awesome. Just the thought of it is legendary. When I was younger and I'd wear shirts with skulls on them, my mom would say that it was satanic. My reply was, you have a skull in your head. Is your head satanic? Right, double quotation mark. And mom, with that reasoning I bet your skull is empty as well. Just like the one on my shirt. Ass beaten. I had a co-worker who switched vets because one of the employees had a zombie sticker on their car. She didn't trust Satan worshippers with taking care of her dog. She's also the person who informed me gay marriage had been legalized. I came into work and heard her crying loudly, so I figured her dog must have died and went in her office to try to console her. I asked her what was wrong and she blurted out, they legalized gay marriage. God is going to send hurricanes and wildfires to cleanse our country. I said, oh, and walked out. The saddest thing is she probably thinks she's right with all the hurricanes and wildfires, considering she didn't believe in climate change. I have an aunt who believes gay marriage will be the end of the world. Jazz. For those asking why, long hair. They had a very convoluted explanation of why it was okay for Jesus but not 80s me, but I can't remember it. Hell. There's literally a supernatural champion of God that needs his long hair. Samson. Harry Potter movies and Halloween. A theme park a couple of cities over has this yearly Halloween theme. I've read a lot of messages on Twitter demanding to close the theme park forever so that Satan could be contained there. Like, WTF. It's a tie between black or dark nail polish, Pokemon and tattoos. Oh, and Bosch's work, but that kinda makes sense. Hieronymus Bosch's work was deeply religious and was commissioned by the church. Doom. I realize this was at the height of video games paranoia, but like, it's a game where you do nothing other than brutalize demons. Possibly the most righteously holy game ever made. So much so I'm surprised it doesn't have a Temple OS port. Catholic man fights demons to save humanity. Obvious Satanism. I went to the gas station the other day in a rush to grab a refreshment. I had on a Misfits shirt. I went and respectfully, and when I got to the cashier, she glared at me. Then she proceeded to call me an ugly demon and that I was going to hell for wearing that shirt. It really fricked with my day. Edit. Thank you fellow fiends with all the love and support. Frick that old hag. Mommy, can I go out and kill tonight? I went to a gas station once wearing a t-shirt with the word coexist spelled out in religious symbols. I had a cool silver skull ring and my old boss said it was from Satan, whatever the frick that means. I remember one time I was walking around somewhere and some randomly lady who was acting seemingly not normal suddenly started screaming as soon as she saw me and my brother. She started acting erratic and shouting that me and my brother were the Antichrist, and that has to be the stupidest one. Had a woman do that to me and my sister once. The DreamWorks film Home. Women wearing pants. This is how I was raised. My mom would not let me wear pants. Dresses and skirts only. She caught me wear pants one time and whooped my butt for it. Hello Kitty, the creator of her, apparently made a pact with Satan to save his daughter or something. I think it's some creepy pastor. But one Polish priest really said that Hello Kitty is Satanist. Meatloaf, the artist, grew up during the Satanic panic of the 80s. So pretty much everything, thankfully not by my parents. In my country a few years back, this big church-ran TV channel did an over-the-top news segment saying why Yu-Gi-Oh cards were the devil's deck of cards and had Christian families going nuts about it. If I remember correctly, the leader of the Free Presbyterian Church called line dancing satanic. The kind of dancing that was literally designed so men and women wouldn't touch, lol. People historically have always accused the music of the youth minorities, the working class, of being satanic. The blues was labeled as the devil's music. Jazz was accused of causing evil, satanic behavior in teens. Rock music was accused of being satanic, and now they give the same treatments to rap music. Look at the way conspiracy theorists treat Lil Nas X. What people fail to understand is that satanic imagery in music videos is not a form of mind control or subliminal messaging. It's just an aesthetic and people use it because they know it'll be a big talking point. Lil Nas X very much likes to be the talk to the town, so he deliberately does controversial things like making a music video where he gives Satan a lap dance to intentionally stir controversy, and while people are all crying over spilled milk, he's laughing all the way to the bank. I like Lil Nas X and Jose's takes on this, where it's like, I mean, I am what I am, deal with it and give me money, lol. Smurfs, heavy metal, crystals and yoga. But crystals are cool to look at and they're aesthetically pleasing and stuff. Quoting the Bible, in a conversation with an evangelically religious Christian, he said that my ability to quote the Bible so well to make false flaws appear was a satanic gift. Not gonna lie, I was flattered a little, as you should be. You rattled that person and they were not expecting you to be able to do so. A real mind frick. Pokemon is Japanese and literally translates to the little demon I keep in my pocket. Even my 10-year-old, stuck in a Pentecostal church, his brain instantly recognized that as bullshit. Wasn't it pocket monsters though? I grew up in the Gulf Coast of the US. When I was in elementary school in the mid-90s, my teacher had just got back from her holiday in the UK and brought a brand new book that was all the rage over there. It was of course Harry Potter and the Philosopher's, Sorcerer's Stone. Our teacher got probably halfway through before being forced to stop by the school and overbearing parents once the word got out for teaching witchcraft, calling the book satanic. Ridiculous. I will say that this nonsense with witchcraft and public schools finally stopped around when the first film came out. Don't laugh. Boo. B-U-T-T-E-R. I can't believe it's not satanic. On the 13th of June 1233. Pope Gregory IX issued a papal bull called Vox in Rama that linked cats to Satanism and witchcraft. Throughout most of the medieval period, cats had a horrendous time and were tortured and culled in huge numbers. Many scholars believe it was because of depleted cat numbers that the Black Death, carried by rats from the east, was able to gain a foothold in Europe. Rats consume about 20% of our food supply and there are over 1 billion people on Earth not properly nourished. That ratio, fed humans to starving humans, is the lowest it has ever been in our species' history. The public school I go to that is insanely close to a Christian school. The dragons in Overwatch. When I was in elementary studying in a Christian school, they were calling Lady Gaga satanic because of her aesthetic and her song, Judas. Boys having long hair. The man's hair barely reached his neck. The funniest part is the fact that Christ himself is always portrayed as having hair that reaches a bit below his shoulders. I have you all beat. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Lord of the Rings. Like come the frick on, it is literally written by a religious man. Written by a Catholic and it's full of the most wholesome values I've ever seen. When I was 6 I had a fever one night, and my mom told me Satan is attacking me. I've been speechless ever since. COVID vaccine. My brother-in-law said he didn't want his kids going out for Halloween. Why? Because it's devil worshipping, he says. Upward turned hand gesturing with fingers pinched together. I guess the devil hides in candy. Tough call between vaccines. LGBT plus rights. Finland. I think I saw someone do that on a Reddit post. I don't remember for sure. Adjus. Finland. I think I saw someone do that on a Reddit post. I don't remember for sure. Grandma got mad at me for running around the neighborhood catching cartoon demons and keeping them locked up on my phone. That, medication diagnosed and treated-ish schizophrenia could be demonic possession. Oh, and He-Man. My attitude. Mayo, my ex's sister used to yell at me, "You have demons." I should have ate that beach. The COVID vaccine being the mark of the beast doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I mean, does it leave a mark? Tampons. I once saw that they were referred to as Satan's cotton fingers. Seriously. Halloween. I do pre-on research. Apparently this makes me in league with the devil. It's funny until someone is threatening to shoot up your workplace because of it. Jeans. Had a friend who believed wearing jeans makes the angels cry. My piercings and tattoos. I have only 3 piercings and 5 little tattoos, but apparently that makes me a spawn of Satan. Good. Seasonings. Like salt and pepper. Yup. I suppose more specifically it would be using the seasonings to change the flavor of a food more than the seasoning itself. Their logic was that God made everything perfect and just as it should be, so by seasoning meat to make it taste differently than God intended it to taste was rejecting God's gift and thus satanic. So she only ate bland food, you may ask. Oh no, she still had seasonings, but she just said it was satanic. Haha, no my friend. You see, she found the loophole. Just as it is okay to use chicken broth, noodles, and chicken in the same bowl, it was fine to use seasonings so long as it wasn't to change the foods themselves. So imagine a burger. Instead of a seasoned patty you would have a bland puck of meat with salt and pepper on top of it or one of the other toppings. It wasn't seasoned meat. It's meat with toppings, as God intended when he elaborately killed himself for everyone to see. I'm sure his dying thoughts were, Linda, don't use seasonings on meat. Use it as a toppinger.